Alright guys, for the first round, my opponent's first Pokemon is going to be a Conkeldurr. So this is going to be an even start due to Conkeldurr being a fighting type Pokemon. He will of course have access to fighting type charge moves, and I do know that he does have access to Stone Edge that we are going to be resisting. It's a Rock Test being not very effective against a Swampert. I do know that all of my ground, water, and poison type moves from my Swampert are going to be doing a bunch of neutral damage against my opponent. I did decide to throw in the Hydro Cannon that is going to be doing way more than half health, as you guys see here. My opponent did already use one shield, so I do decide to mirror that shield as well and throw in a shield for myself. Right here, my opponent does throw in a Dynamic Punch that would most likely do enough damage for my opponent to actually go for the hard farm down on my own Swampert, but I just have to make a swap out into my Gardevoir so then I can allow my Gardevoir to get ahead on energy, but my opponent does make a swap out into a Torterra. So Torterra being a grass and ground type Pokemon, that is going to be a perfect time for my Abomasnow to come out right after my Gardevoir does actually get fainted. I am able to get my opponent's final shield there from that Synchronize. I didn't know that Synchronize would most likely do enough damage to actually insta-faint him, but because Abomasnow being an ice and grass type Pokemon, Ice types will be doing double super effective damage against my opponent's Torterra, so because of that we are able to get an easy farm down right there. I do know that Weather Ball is going to be doing a good amount of neutral damage against that Conkeldurr, but my opponent does make a swap out into a Flareon instead of making a swap out into a Conkeldurr. So that would be a pretty nice move by my opponent, since Weather Ball, as you guys know, is going to be doing not very effective damage against his fire type Pokemon, but against that Conkeldurr it would have been doing way more damage. From right there, I did decide to save my Weather Ball's energy right there and then make a swap out into my own Swampert, throw in the Hydro Cannon, and then insta-faint that Flareon. The Conkeldurr is coming out, and it seems like I don't even need to use my Abomasnow's Weather Ball because my Hydro Cannon is actually charged up, and I do know that this will be doing way more damage to actually faint him, allowing us to win the first round. Good game to my opponent. Alright guys, for the second round, my opponent's first Pokemon is going to be a Granbull with Snarl. So that does give us a huge opportunity, because I do know that Snarl does make your charge moves charge up way faster, but since Swampert is such a beast with Mud Shot and Hydro Cannon, it does charge up way faster than any other charge move, I think. But my opponent does make a swap out into a Venusaur to actually counter my own Swampert, so I do decide to make a swap out into my Gardevoir. Since Gardevoir having access to both Confusion and Synchronize, it is going to be doing super effective damage due to Psychic types being super effective against poison types. So my opponent does make a swap out into that Granbull once again. I did know that Synchronize will most likely be doing enough damage to actually faint my opponent's Granbull, since he did already take a hit from my own Swampert's Hydro Cannon. We are able to get my opponent's final shield right there. I do have one shield left, and I do know that I already have a Hydro Cannon charged up for my own Swampert, so I did just decide to make a quick swap into that, charge up to that Hydro Cannon and throw it in. I did know that this will most likely get an instant faint on my opponent, so we are able to get to that excellence, but I did actually mistaken myself that he did actually have one more shield left. It still is okay, but I do decide to throw in my final shield here as well. I do know that a Crunch or any other charge move from Granbull is actually going to faint my own Swampert, so Hydro Cannon is going to be doing a good amount of damage. Hydro Cannon is once again charged up. My opponent is very low on Hydro Cannon being such a strong move. It will definitely faint my opponent's Granbull. A Charizard is actually going to be coming out as my opponent's final Pokemon, and that is going to be very, very nice for us, since my Hydro Cannon is going to be doing super effective damage. It's a water type being super effective against fire types, and I do know that my ice types from my own Abomasnow are also going to be doing a good amount of neutral damage against my opponent's Charizard, and because of that, did allow us to win the second round. Good games to my opponent. Alright guys, for the third round, my opponent's first Pokemon is going to be a Swampert. So this is going to be, of course, an even start since both of us are going to be the same Pokemon. But I do know that this does just come down to whoever has the better CP and IV on their Pokemon, and whoever just taps faster to get to their Hydro Cannon, because our Mud Shots will not be doing any damage against each other. It is going to be the Hydro Cannon that does actually feint each other. But I am actually just going to skip this since it is just a matter of who taps faster. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Alright guys, so after both of us do have 0 shields left, I do decide to make the first move and swap out into an Abomasnow. My opponent did also have an Abomasnow in the back as well, so once again this is going to be an even start. I knew that Weather Balls are going to be doing neutral damage against each other due to Ice types being not very effective against Ice types, but super effective against Grass types. So once again I am going to skip this part once again. Alright guys, so both of our Abomasnows are actually very close to fainting, but we are able to get the first feint on that Abomasnow, so that did give us a huge advantage because we are able to throw in a Weather Ball and get enough damage against this Alolan Muck. A Swampert is also going to be coming out, and I am going to allow my own Gardevoir to take the hit, since I do know that all of my Psychic type moves from my Gardevoir are going to be resisted. This is Psychic types being not very effective against Dark types, against the Alolan Muck. So my Gardevoir will basically have no use to actually win this round, because the Alolan Muck does also have Poison Trap, which is going to be doing super effective damage against my own Gardevoir, due to Poison types being super effective against Fairy types. So I do just decide to throw in the Synchronize. I do know that it is still going to be doing a good amount of damage, although it is going to be resisted. And of course my final Pokemon is going to be my Swampert. We are going to be resisting those Poison Traps. My Hydro Cannon is charged up, and we are able to get the instant feint on the Alolan Muck, allowing us to win the third round against our opponent.